So let's breathe into that space that we have just created. Into that space of being, into that space of welcoming, and into that space of committing to who we each are. If you get comfortable in your seat right now, whatever that means for you, and know that the chair supports you, the floor supports the chair, and the earth supports the floor. So all you need to do right now is just to be here. Let the chair do its job. And let's breathe again. This morning, as we invite in the new, we also release what is ours to release. We have released last Sunday with the burning bowl. And we know also that releasing is a process. We don't just get to do it once. We get to do it all the time. Letting go of what no longer serves us and continuing to invite into our lives and into our world what is fresh and new and helps us build our own authentic life. So let's take that idea of authentic life into a couple of minutes of silence. As we return our awareness to this place and time, we give thanks for the life that each of us brings to this planet. We give thanks for everyone who is engaged with us in this life. And we give thanks for everyone who is yet to engage with us. For that and all else we give thanks, and so it is. Amen.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
Right in front of my face, which is why I can't see it. Deb and Xing, when you picked this photo a couple of weeks ago, did you know this would actually be relevant?
I chose it.
They picked this photo a couple of weeks ago when there was no snow.
She was green.
Yeah, she was free.
And last week you sang, let us know, let us know.
Yeah,
We did. We sang, let us know in our hearts.
Be careful for what you wish for.
Well, we've been thankful for the snow. We've been out playing in it, and we took our snow day on Wednesday. We didn't try to get the car out. We took the sled. We pulled the sled. I had snow pants still from Wisconsin. The girls needed new snow pants, so we pulled the sled over to Walmart. We got new snow pants. We pulled it around to Big Five, and we got another snow toboggan-y thing, so we had enough for everybody. And we came back home, and we had a great outing. It was nice to be snowed in for a minute. So we give thanks for what we have when we have it. This morning we do our white stone ceremony. This is a long tradition in Unity churches, and it actually has a long historic tradition. Everyone should now have one of these stones and a pencil. Does everyone have such? Yeah. Okay. Zoya, could you help people who don't have theirs? If you just want to, I think it's just one. Okay, there are 4, I think, with them a stone and a pencil, so we're kind of all set with that. our stones, at least I know mine and Zoya's. I'm not sure where Shing's stone is from last year. Last year, year before, sitting in a little spot where we walk by them every day and we're reminded. So our white stone ceremony. And we can actually go to the Bible for this. In Revelations, it says something about a white stone and a new name. And this is the passage. Listen, or let anyone who has an ear listen. To everyone who conquers, I will give a white stone. And on the white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that we need to keep it a secret, but it means it's ours. It's your personal awareness and awakening. And we're going to go through a little process to help you get there this morning. I want to go back to the top here where it says, let anyone who has an ear listen. And you know, I've talked about this in different contexts other times on Sundays, but this is the first choice we need to make, right? We may have ears, but we need to use them to listen. And we need to use them to listen not just to what's out there. In fact, sometimes we need to be real careful about what's out there, but listen to what our message is coming from inside of us. I was able to watch just a little bit of CBS Sunday Morning this morning, and I caught a piece of the interview with Jennifer Aniston. And the interviewer was asking her, she said, you're engaged now, there's all this paparazzi, it's crazy in your life, you're on all of these tabloids all the time. How do you keep that out of the life with your fiancé? And she said, it's easy. It's out there. She said, I know my truth, and he knows his truth. I went, wow. That is so nice to hear anywhere you hear it from. I know my truth, she said. Just as simple as can be. And we all get to make that choice to know our truth and to listen to our truth wherever it's coming from. And to everyone who conquers, I will give a white stone. That doesn't mean, Zoya and I saw Hobbit the other day, it doesn't mean that kind of fighting, conquering. Everyone who conquers, everyone who rises up, we sang that song this morning, Rise Up, right? Everyone who rises up in our own lives and claims that life that is ours, and is able to, in a sense, conquer whatever that noise is, whatever that other junk is that's coming at us. So it's really more of a release than a conquering as we might think of it. In biblical times, the white stone was used for lots of things. And one of the things it was used for is a form of identification. People didn't carry passports in their pockets, right? Or driver's license. A white stone was something you could carry with you. So that might be, you might put your name on there, you might put something else on there, but it was a way that you could carry your form of identification. It also served as welcome and hospitality. When people were inviting people to their big shindig, the people who were invited would get a special white stone so they could show it at the door when they came in. Okay? Covenant of safe passage. If you had someone who was coming to visit you from another kingdom, perhaps a warring kingdom, they had a special white stone to indicate that they were invited and they could come through and they would have safe passage to their destination. Recognition and honor. We know the Olympics go way back, right? So one of the ways to give people recognition again was to give them a special white stone that they could carry as an athlete that was recognized in their kingdom. As a reprieve from death or imprisonment. If you were in prison and you got let out, other people might not know that you were out, that you were supposed to be out, right? So again, you had a special stone that you could show and you could say, I have been released from prison and this is my evidence of freedom. And a judgment of innocence. A jury as such, a deciding group, might be asked, what do you think about this person? And they were given a black stone and a white stone. And you put your stone in the urn as to what your judgment is. So this white stone has lots of different pieces in the history. But you know, all of these, one way or another, come back to freedom. Freedom or overcoming. Freedom of safe passage. Real freedom of your life, having been released from prison. Freedom to enter a party that you've been invited to. Freedom overcoming when the athletes receive their white stones. So we have this tradition that we can claim of this white stone as freedom and overcoming into our true self, into our true selves. And we can never do this too often. I have a new image of overcoming. Having seen Hobbit the other day, I looked for a picture of this online, but I could not find one. So here's Legolas. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Legolas.
I say him Legolas. Legolas there's a bridge collapsing under his feet, and it's a stone bridge. And it's collapsing. All of these stones are collapsing, and he is running on the collapsing stones. And as he goes over another stone, it's gone. It's gone. And he keeps running on these collapsing stones until he gets to firm footing, the part of the bridge that's not collapsing. And that has just stuck with me since we saw that movie about overcoming. Do you ever feel that way? Sometimes you just have to, you know, I'm having some trouble here in this certain spot in my life. And you know what? I'm just going to keep moving. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to stay in touch with myself about what's mine to do. And I'm going to keep moving. And I'm going to return to that sure footing. And don't you? And don't you? You get back there to that solid footing. So that's the image that has stayed with me for the last few days. I've asked each one of our youth to come up here and share an example of their overcoming or freedom, their connecting with true self right now. If we can have maybe a couple over here and a couple over here. So that's Brandon, Alex, Shane, and Zoya. So show your item and give us a sentence.
Well,
Okay, I'll say it.
Yes.
Okay, this is my overcoming, and this is my overcoming.
If you project, you're okay. Otherwise, you can use the mic.
It's Harvey. This is a script of a show that I am in, and this is actually my biggest role I've had. And I'm so used to getting these like tiny roles and just being, like second, And so this is the biggest role I've ever had in the drama department, and my director said that this role was meant for me. I have over 100 lines.
Thank you. Brandon.
This is my overcoming of fishing because I'm so addicted to fishing, and it's like so exciting when you go fishing your first time, you're taking your kids, they catch a fish, or they're buying something for the fish, or buying something for their kids or their parents. This is what I inspire, because I inspire little kids, because I'm going to be a teacher pretty soon if I can have my own school to teach little kids to how to fish.
Wow.
well, my overcoming is the AV. So when I first did it, I was like, oh gosh, I'm not going to remember all this. And when Sam helped me try to teach me how to do it, like every Sunday morning, I'd get better and better, and then I was like, hey, I got the hang of it. And so when I got the hang of it and was like strong, I can do this, I taught Deb how to do it, and so now she knows how to do it, and now I might teach someone else to do it, and I can get better and better.
This is my creepy doll. And everybody thinks they're creepy.
Except you.
Except me, yes. And it helps me overcome boredom because I can play dolls by myself or with my friends, or like I could just like dress them up for fun, and I just have like a whole bunch of these, like a whole big trunk full of them, and they help me overcome boredom. So.
Thank you. Let's give these kids a hand. Thank you. Thank you for your examples. So we've all got these, don't we? Examples in our own lives of overcoming, of freedom from something, of freedom, simply freedom from thinking, I can't do that. right? Freedom from that and moving into something new. Okay, whoops. Okay, so for the first quarter of 2015, we're going to be working with Butterworth's book, Discover the Power Within You. And he's a poet fan, and this is something I pulled from his very first chapter. Truth is within ourselves. There is an inmost center to us all where truth abides in fullness. And to know rather consists in opening out a way, whence the imprisoned splendor may escape, thus in effecting entry for a light supposed to be without. Isn't that beautiful? From Robert Browning. Effecting entry for a light supposed to be without. But where is it really? Yes, it's in there. So what we're going to do for the next several minutes is take some quiet time for you to use your stone and respond on there with whatever comes to you. It might be a word, it might be words, it might be a picture. It can take any form. What represents your freedom, your overcoming, your truth? What do you want on this stone that you're going to pick up in March and in June and in September and go, that was my symbol. That was my word. That was my name. That was my sentence on January 4. And I am taking that right through the year with me. Okay? Do we have a little kind of nice mellow music we can play behind?
Maybe.
Maybe. Thank you. So we'll just be in quiet for 5 minutes or so while you connect with that true self inside you. So I invite you now to take your stone, hold it in your hands. This came from inside of you. Now bring it back inside of you. And know that what you have on this stone is yours. That you have ears that you have chosen to listen with. And you have claimed this new name, this symbol, this word or phrase as yours. To bring with you into the new year is your symbol of freedom, truth, and overcoming. We give thanks. We say amen.
Amen.
So I invite you this morning, if you so choose, while we're having our birthday cake and our coffee and our tea, if you'd like to share what's on your stone with someone. Wonderful topic of conversation. You know, they have a new ad I've noticed in the movie theaters now. The movie is just the first step. What's really important is talking about it afterwards. Yeah. So what's really important is talking with themselves, but talking to each other about what's going on with us. And so I'm just going to share with you. This came to me. I didn't plan this. I walked back there, I got my stone, and by the time I got to my chair, I knew what I was going to draw. And it's a Christmas tree. A Christmas tree with presents under it. We still have Santa in our house. We have presents that show up miraculously. On a morning, we have things that show up miraculously in stockings hung by the fireplace. They just show up. And we gravitated toward an inauthentic Christmas tree a few years ago. So we just put this thing together. And this year, I wasn't so inclined to put it together. And Shing said, let's put the Christmas tree up. And I said, oh, maybe in the morning. And the next day she said, let's put the Christmas tree up. And so we did. And it took what, maybe 5 minutes or something. And that comes back to me and I think, Lynnette, you have to be open to opportunities in your life to put stuff up, to put stuff together, to get it to happen. And sometimes we think, oh, that's just going to be a drag.
And you wanted Christmas? I wanted Christmas lights down there too.
Yes, and we put Christmas lights on, right? And then we put the lights on it too. Yes. And so often these things that we think are going to be such an uphill struggle, once we take that first step, hey, then the next step is clear, and the next step is clear, and we just move through it. It's your examples, the kids' examples this morning of their own overcoming and their own freedom. Excellent stuff to listen to and be reminded of. So there's my white stone. Let's move into our next, yes, do not be overcome. Oh, give me that back. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. And evil we can bring back to that word sin, which is just an archery term that means missing the mark. And so we can choose that in our lives every day too, can't we? We can choose to make our own good and overcome whatever else that is that's going on that might be missing the mark for us. Or sometimes other people miss the mark in our lives. In fact, Butterworth says sometimes people miss the mark by a mile. Sometimes we miss it by a mile. Okay? And we can still hold on. We can still hold on and come back with our truth and what's good and what we know. Now, we are going to move into the next special part of our service this morning, which is welcoming new members. So I'm going to ask Leadership Council members to come up here. Donna and Betty and Mary Ann. We have 10 people to welcome into membership this morning. Wow. Yay! Donna is going to say the name. I am going to give you your certificate. Mary Ann is going to share the flower.
I'll give a hug.
And We'll hug first.
Reverend Maurice Guaret.
Yay!
Here you are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.
I'll come over here. All right.
Karen Rush Fisher. William Schwalm.
Also known as Sam. Thank you.
So Deb's sick.
And we will also invite Deb Schwalm through Sam.
Phyllis Papanow.
Is that your first name? So you're Sam's.
June and Robert Rush.
They're not here today.
And I think Karen will probably, would you like to accept them? Excellent. Okay.
Give a hug.
Grandma.
And you need to give them hugs for us, okay? Bob has been having a few health challenges, so we told him in prayer this morning also.
Jennifer Baltz.
Yay!
Nancy Hodges.
Yay!
Nancy already has the t-shirt.
Thank you. Welcome. Marion Morrow.
So thank you, Donna, Mary Ann, and Deb.